I'm going to change the test for stream. So hopefully for those watching, it should say
So they're both drawing their first set of 7 cards. And it looks like Chanks is putting them straight back again.
yeah, honestly, it's going to be an interesting matchup because Dredge will not give a crap about the fact of what Delver's doing, and I don't see anything main board that Grixis Delver really wants to deal with Dredge. So
yeah, I mean,
interesting to
but
see how it plays
as
out.
we've seen with Delver decks before, Delver can get there really fast. You know, you flip a couple of Delvers, you get a Dreadhorde Arcanist online, some Lightning Bolts, and it can go quite.
Yeah, it can go quite poorly, as you said. I think
But none of the removal is in the form of exile in this main deck, so there's not that much it can do.
seems like we're going to start with a fetch with the Misty Rainforest. I wonder if he's going to get an Underground Sea.
It seems fairly likely. Could be a Volk.
Oh.
It's a Volk.
Of course, it's a beautiful black border Volk. Gotta love them. Classics.
Yeah.
And I think it's a foil Misty.
I see them so rarely. And it's straight into Delver. That's the opening play that he wants against Dredge.
Yeah, it's definitely want to get on that fast clock as soon as you can. We're going to see a Gemstone Mine.
Gemstone Caverns.
Ooh, right. Solus has the really nice Faithless.
The Gemstone
altars.
Mine, sorry.
I really love the altar he got done. I love the burn mark cards.
That is quite nice.
I see a Golgari Thug, I want to say, and I think he's gonna.
Oh, you're asking me to name cards? It's not. It is Golgari Thug, I believe.
I'm looking at the list, and that's the only thing I think it can be. And honestly, we've already seen one card down so far, and we already see 2 Dredgers, so immediately, Roland should know that this is going to be
he knows exactly what he's playing now, and I think that even with us snuffing on decks today, I think people have been able to see the titles of their opponents' decks.
Oof, that's unfortunate. We'll have to fix that in post. One of those post-mortem things. But it seems like we're going to get a main phase Brainstorm Roland here. Interestingly to note, he has altered his deck entirely into Japanese. So I believe those are F&M promo mass foils.
Wow.
Which have been altered by an alterist, I believe, named Scourge Alter, who has done most of his stuff. He also altered some reanimates and some sort of plowshares.
So hang on, so they're not originally Japanese cards, they just had the text altered to be the Japanese text?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. What about the card name?
So the card name is also altered into Japanese. It's really neat.
That's dodgy though. That's technically against the rules for alters.
Technically speaking, it's the same name.
I know. I mean, but
it's really weird.
A judge stamping down on that.
They're really cool. A lot of people like doing alters that or never have existed. So cards you can't get.
We need to. The rule is recognizable. I'm not so bothered about the name myself.
As am I.
I've actually got a pair of Birds of Paradise altars. One is Japanese, one is English, both from M12. One altar is legal because it doesn't cover up the Japanese text, and the exact same altar on the English card is not legal because it does cover up some of the English text. So it's all a bit stupid, if you ask me.
So interestingly enough, all the altars I've seen Roland do so far, or I've gotten them done, they alter the entire thing. So the whole text box is altered to Japanese. The pipeline, everything's all into Japanese, which is really neat. The person recently released like a how-to guide of how he does foil peelings, which is kind of cool to see, like how they actually peel off the old foils and actually foil a card.
Yeah, foil peelings seem like fun, but you know, for your EDH decks, because I don't think you're gonna get foil peelings accepted in any kind of mainstream tournament.
I mean, we are Legacy. I don't know how mainstream we can be at this point.
Oh, I mean, here, you know, we're trusting people that they're going to shuffle honestly, and if they have a card that's slightly thicker, we're probably not going to find that out. But you know, a foil peeling is going to be slightly thicker, and any judge checking that before an in-paper tournament is not going to be happy.
It is a extremely hard process. It seems like we're down to 14 so far, as Roland has force willed a... God, what is that? I think maybe blue dredge card.
It wasn't not. Oh, is it breakthrough?
Yeah, I think it's breakthrough. Yeah.
I've not actually seen breakthrough in. I mean, I haven't got much familiarity with Legacy Dredge. I think I've actually only ever played against Manaless Dredge, but I've not seen breakthrough in Vintage Dredge either.
You know, breakthrough is an interesting card for what it does. You know, drawing 4 cards, then choosing X in your hand, and discarding the rest. In this deck particularly, you're probably going to be choosing X equals 0.
Yeah.
Seems like the most reasonable way to play this deck out. And we're doing the classic Dredge stuff where we show our entire graveyard and cross our board because we no longer care.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
And I just love Roland's deck, Chankster, who is our fellow mod. As you can see, it's like fully foiled. You see the Dazes foiled. I believe they're also altered to be Japanese, or maybe they've gotten printed in Japanese. I'm not sure. Whatever is in Japanese that can be Japanese in foil is in Japanese foil. Otherwise, it's altered to be.
Yeah.
I'd really love to know if he altered his volcanics Japanese, because I don't think they're originally ever printed in Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there were foreign black borders, but I don't know if that included Japanese. I've only ever seen European languages.
Yeah, I've only ever seen German, Italian, and there's like one other.
I think I've seen French and Spanish.
That sounds about right. I see German and Italian commonly. French and Spanish to make.
Yeah, obviously I see them slightly more often being in Europe.
Yeah. Then they're not really foreign to you. They're just black border.
Yeah, well, we call them FBB the same as Americans do. They're not our language after all.
True, very fair.
So it's taken Changster a while to get that second land.
It has, but now he's finally got access to black mana, which we're just going to see a main phase, I believe. Fatal push.
Yep, and there's no more Narcomoebas.
Yeah, you're gonna have to chump block at that point unless you want to go down to 11.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of want rid of the Narcomoebas because once they're in the graveyard, having not come from the library, they're pretty hard to recur.
Yeah, I mean, there's only ever 2 places you want them. The grave or the library. If they're in your hand, you pretty much hate yourself. I think he's gonna get back a Nick right here.
Yep.
Read some more with the thug. And I believe that's the new card from Theros Beyond Death. No, yeah, Theros Beyond Death, the Ox. I don't know if you've seen it recently, but it's a new tech.
I was wondering what Ox of Agonis was. Yeah, you have to exile 8 cards for it to escape from the graveyard.
Yes, but when it comes into hand.
It's a 5/3 when it escapes.
But it's really good. When it enters battlefield, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards.
Yeah, that's exactly what a Dredge player wants to do.
Very much so, considering you replace all those with Dredges. It's a very nice time to be on. It seems like we see the one careful study.
We're not going all in on the Ox of Agonis. We've just got one of them.
Yeah, that's all you need. Very, very hard to do double Ox. The escape cost being so high. We're gonna see a Cabal Therapy.
There's an interesting card in this Grixis Delver deck, which is Bedlam Reveler.
I did see that on the list. I was very interested to see how that was going to play. Not sure why you'd be playing 2. Maybe he just needs the card draw and he needs a big threat.
Yeah.
It does combo with Arcanist. That is another thing to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you've got the Dreadhorde Arcanist out and you've got that out, you're always getting at least one prowess trigger, which is useful.
And we're going to see the Arcanist come out, which is great.
Yep.
Now, every time he swings, he's going to get a card to cast, which is likely going to be Brainstorm or Ponder. Maybe a Fatal Push
At the moment, yeah.
In a tight fit, but likely. And also, what do you think, Anne, here, that he needs the Dredge player side? What do they need to get out of this hole?
I'm not sure that they're actually in a hole. You know, they take some time to get set up. And then once they're up and running and quite quick.
I mean, if he doesn't do this right, he might be at risk of getting bolted.
Yeah.
Yes. Bolt, Arcanist Bolt, and then just swing, so you'll get 9 damage in total. Put you down to 2 less life.
I think he wouldn't mind seeing that Hogok sometime around about now. Or the Ox, for that matter. I think he's got enough to...
And I believe he pointed to himself with the Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, well, that's a strategy for Dredge decks.
And we see a double bridge from below.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that would help very much, isn't it? A bridge from below that went off.
Yes, starting to build up your army would be a good time. But really, particularly, the problem's going to be the flyer. Tectile Aberration being a 3/2 beater.
Flyer, and Chanks has successfully dealt with the Narcomoebas, which were the potential solution to the flyer.
And we're going to see another, I believe, main phase Brainstorm. Or actually, it might be an upkeep Brainstorm, so you can fetch away. Draw.
Oh, I mean, we could land a Stinkweed Imp, I guess.
He could. That is a very valid thing to do. Crap, yep. I think I missed some life total drop at some point. Probably from all this thing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been getting in there. The Icarus has hit him a few times as well.
We're just seeing all the very nice cards here. We're seeing all black border duels. That is the one benefit of Legacy. You get to see who has like been heavily entrenched or been around forever.
Yeah.
Who can only afford the poor boy duels like myself.
I don't have a single black bordered duel.
Don't. I will have one soon. I'll have a Scrubland soon.
Yeah, I've got some feelers out there on foreign black borders, but I've tended to prefer to buy English white bordered, and I'm not sure that there's strong logic behind that.
I mean, being able to read what your card does is nice, but pretty obvious what it does based on art.
It's a land. It has colors on it. And also I speak all those European languages, so I know what they do. I mean, when I say speak, I mean can read magic cards. Except German. German, I'm terrible at, but I'm fine with a dual land in German. But French, Italian, Spanish, I'm completely happy drafting in.
Really? I would say French would be my worst language to draft in, because I wouldn't know what anything's going on. I took a year of German, so I'd at least know, like, if something said, like, damage-wise or anything related to that. Because I can understand, like, how the conjugation works, and just breeze through that.
Yeah, no, I struggle with German magic cards. I take them to my parents and have them translate it for me.
And I think we're going to see another Ponder, per se? All 3 cards coming off the top.
Yeah, and there's a Ponder in Exile.
Yeah, he is pondering off the Arcanist.
Yep.
Honestly, if you're solo here, you're just really hoping that you can get
He doesn't find a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Oh, he found a fetch. And another Delver.
Yeah, it appears they were skipping past some stuff. Clearly shortcutting the fact of, like, yeah, I hit you. I'm gonna do all this now. Pass, and then down tip myself. Oh, you hate to see it. You definitely would have liked the LED.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many cards that he does have in hand at the moment.
However, we did find a stinkweed. Good block, fine.
But he's choosing to attack.
Fair enough, that is one way to do it. And we got tokens off the bridge from below.
Yep, but they're not going to block a Delver. If that second Delver flips, there's trouble.
Yep. Ooh, there is trouble now.
Well, he pondered, so presumably he stacked it because he didn't fetch. He just played the land and passed.
And at this point, you just lose based on swinging here. All he really needs to do is find a lightning bolt. Dead.
So this is an interesting Delver build because it's technically Grixis, but it's actually only playing black for Thought Seizes.
Yeah, it's very much a splash of black, Thought Seizes, and I think it's one or two Fatal Pushes.
Yeah, yeah, 2 Fatal Push and also a couple of sideboard cards. We've got a Colligan's Command and a Plague Engineer. I don't think any deck that plays black is complete without a Plague Engineer these days.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a good sideboard card that you can't leave home without it.
I just played a match where I got caught out by one main deck.
Yeah, it's always the scary part of the main deck. I don't know if you remember that, I think it was last year on GP Atlanta when everyone was playing those busted, like, rug decks, and they'd splash black just for Plague Engineer. Or they were playing the 4-color Grixis S control deck, where they had 3 main board.
Yeah.
As a D&T player, I was not a happy camper.
Yeah, no, D&T and Plague Engineer is not a place I want to be.
Same with Elves. I didn't see any Elves deck at GP Atlanta. There probably could have been, but probably were slaughtered.
Well, Elves have dropped somewhat in the meta with their Deathrite Shaman banning. Like, Deathrite Shaman was banned mostly because of Grixis Delver.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some other decks suffered.
Same with Get Probe. Get Probe died for Delver's sins.
Yeah. So he's choosing not to go in with the Dreadhorde Arcanist because it could be double blocked by those zombies. Okay, so we're bringing back a Stinkweed Imp.
He should be down to 1 life.
Well, no, I think he's... Isn't he not doing this before blockers?
Idea. Find out.
Yeah, no, he's done.
Okay. Take a look
so
at
I really don't know much at all about Dredge, so I'm not sure what you bought.
Okay, we're looking at a 1 of Lotus Petal, 2 Late Nature's Claim, 1 Shenanigans, 3 Wismare, 1 Dread Return, 3 Leyline of Sanctity, 3 Leyline of the Void, and 1 Ashen Rider.
Well, I think I'd quite like to have Dread Return here.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat.
Have a little bit more flexibility.
I think Dread Return is a pretty good one.
I don't know if Leyline of Sanctity does enough when there's only Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Thoughtseize as well, maybe, but you don't mind your cards ending up in your graveyard, so...
I'm a big fan of Ashen Rider, Dreadmare, and the Shenanigans.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And you can bring in a Nature's Claim as well, if you're really scared of Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing when sideboarding is you've got a sideboard for their sideboard as well. And actually, it turns out that Chankster's sideboard is not Grafdigger's Cage, it's Nihil Spellbomb.
Yeah, it's 2 Nihil Spellbombs and 2 Surgicals. That's a dangerous time to live.
That's harder sideboard tech to deal with. Grafdigger's Cage is fairly straightforward to deal with. Nihil Spellbomb, Not so easy to deal with.
What do you like out of his sideboard? He's got a Blazing Volley, roll entrance. 2 Nihils, 2
Well,
Pyroblast, 1 red.
Blazing Volley is neither here nor there against this much.
Yeah, it's kind of questionable.
Nihil Spellbomb obviously coming in. Pyroblast, no, and he's probably going to lose some daisies from the main, I would guess. Same with Red Elemental Blast not coming in. Surgical Extraction definitely in. A Braid potentially in because it's useful timing wise. You know, it does hit several of the creatures in the Dredge deck, and if they're in the way at the wrong time, he could bring in a Null Rod that turns off the Lion's Eye Diamonds.
Yes. That is a very fair assumption. However, I'm looking at potentially the Narset.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that too.
I'm wondering how much do you value all those draw triggers to get dredges?
Well, exactly. And also, sometimes just being able to find those extra non-land cards can be, you know, non-land, non-creature cards can be quite useful with Narset.
Yeah, digging for your 4 lightning bolts is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I don't think Play Engineer is coming in. It doesn't seem useful, and Submerge also really.
Submerge does not work in this situation.
I do like that card a lot. I've seen a lot of people come back with Submerge. So.
Yeah, it's been around a lot recently.
I mean, with the 4-color meta, you know, Forest being around again, pretty prevalent. It's also very fair.
I mean, so I looked through and saw what decks these guys have beaten today, and it's really been quite a range of deck. It looks like Changster has beaten an Eldrazi deck that's splashing black for Toxic Deluge. He's beaten Sultai Yorion, but it's a Emery Urza build with some puzzle knots in it.
Oh, I know who that is.
Excited me.
I know who that is.
Puzzle knots in Legacy just made me smile. And there was a really funky white-blue control deck that Changster beat in round 1. I just looked at that and I didn't know what half the cards were.
White-blue control deck with no cards known? What was in it?
It wasn't Miracles. Oh god.
Was it Rip Helm?
I don't know. It was. Let me just see if I can quickly pull it up here.
An energy field in it, or a Helm of Obedience?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that.
Standstill?
I have seen. No, it wasn't Standstill either. There was a deck with energy field instead. I think there was an Enchantress deck.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Azorius Control, Claws of Gix, Scroll Rack, Detention Sphere.
Oh, okay. I think I know what it is.
Plans, Opalescence, Induced Amnesia.
Oh no!
It is somewhat enchantment based because its win condition seems to be Starfield of Nyx, turn my enchantments into creatures.
I mean, they're playing Opalescence.
Yeah.
That's Opal Wave. Yeah, that's Opal Wave.
But there's a bunch of stuff in there that I'm not familiar with.
To be fair, no one really plays against blue-white Opal Wave ever.
Yeah, I have literally not seen it. So
it looks like we're gonna start off with the turn 1 Gemstone Mine into, I believe that is an Icarid.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, no, I could be wrong. That could be one of the imps.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not Icarid. Icarid is
That's Putrid.
Like
it's Putrid imp. Yep.
Yeah.
A little disgusting imp. Interestingly enough, Putrid Imp and Snakeweed Limp look at the opposite directions. That's how you know who is who.
Ah, right. Yeah. Yes, they do. They're both facing to the middle of the card.
Putrid looks to the left of the card. Snakeweed looks to the right of the card.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see a bridge from below already.
Bridge from below straight away.
It seems like we're just gonna start discarding cards to give it flying while we also have it die.
Yep.
We're gonna pop our first bridge.
I mean, I think that's really the plan for Dredge here, is to early bridge, start making zombies.
Yeah, it very much is a plan of going wide, very much the Field of the Dead-esque format structure.
Well, that's a Lion's Eye Diamond into the graveyard. Let's turn things sideways. That's quite painful to be on 14 at this point.
That's a rough crackback. Now that's Thickred plus a Zombo and plus the Narc coming soon.
Yeah. But, you know, Icarid goes and turns itself into a zombie.
Ooh, I think he called for Roland's hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting choice to flashback a Cabal Therapy with a Narcomoeba. I mean, it does turn it into a zombie, but do you not want to keep the flyer?
Yeah, it would be nice to keep the flyer, but I'm also interested in the fact that they called out Dreadhorde as the call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have been any other kind of choice that you want to make, but I guess Dreadhorde is kind of the good one to get here because it did screw you over last game. It is value engine.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a high value card. Still haven't actually acquired myself a full playset of them. I pick them up when I see one, but I haven't just gone and bought the lot.
Dreadhorde, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they put down another token. I can't tell what that is.
Yeah, I think there are 2 tokens that are untapped and 1 tapped.
I'm assuming it's another zombie token.
Yeah.
Just a very different style.
Yeah, come on, dude. Matching tokens.
They're very interesting though. One's like a open face zombie, and the other one has like a bow tie with plus a funny mustache. And I'm not sure what the last one is.
Thought he was about to attack with his underground sea there.
Yes, the Underground Sea is the best creature land, definitely.
Yeah, I played against somebody earlier who was running a creeping tar pit and a control deck, which I mentioned was unusual for Legacy.
Okay.
And he was like, this has actually won me a lot of games.
I don't think anyone expects it. So that would probably
exactly.
win you games.
And if you haven't seen it game 1, you know, you might even consider switching out Wastelands sometimes.
Honestly, Roland is stuck here on one land.
Yeah.
Not a place you want to be in.
Not a good place to be.
His outs here right now are going to be Nihil Spellbomb. Hope to God
he does not have anything like Toxic Deluge or anything like that, does he?
No, I don't think he does. Let's just game 2 at this point. Game 3, sorry.
Yeah, it's almost scoop and go, isn't it?
I mean, you do learn a little bit more about your opponent's deck, but...
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not doing anything that we don't expect Dredge to do.
Yeah, this is pretty normal standard Dredge stuff, although I believe Solus casted the Thug this time around.
Yeah.
It's probably going to name something like Brainstorm or Lightning Bolt. Not much you got. Yeah, that's just a scoop. Yeah. Don't even reveal your hand.
Well, I think we knew he had Brainstorm.
We knew he had a Brainstorm and a couple other stuff. Brainstorm, Preordain, he used the Pond already, and he had a Daze.
Yeah.
Only cards unknown is the last one that he got off Ponder plus whatever he drew.
Yeah.
That is
so it was a definite hit. That was fast. That's what Dredge needs to do.
That's an explosive start from Dredge. The only more explosive start I could ever see is an Ox on turn 2. Those do happen.
Yeah, you could just about get 8 into the sideboard, into the graveyard, can't you?
Yeah, it's pretty insane when you can get it. And it seems like they're going to be probably keeping out the same stuff. Maybe Roland's going back to the drawing board. I'm seeing him in the sideboard again. He might be getting surgicals this time, saying, no, I'm getting rid of bridges immediately.
I can't imagine that he didn't have surgicals last time.
Well, there definitely is a choice being made about what he's taking out.
I think you bring in all your graveyard hate, though, don't you, against Dredge? You don't half hate.
Honestly, I think
surgical could be useful against combos and things like that as well, but I don't think you don't bring surgical in against Dredge.
I think honestly he's probably going back to the drawing board saying, okay, daisies are coming out. These things are garbage.
Yeah, I felt that the days should have come out, and therefore I was surprised to see it when he revealed it to that Cabal thing.
I also imagine the Thoughtseize are probably coming out. They're not super helpful.
To me, the cards to come out, the single Power Blast, the Thoughtseize. Ooh, no, yeah. You could leave the Pyroblast in, although he hasn't seen the breakthrough. Because
he has. He saw the breakthrough and he saw the careful studies in game 1.
There are a small number of blue spells, but I don't know if it's worth leaving the Pyroblast in for. I think out of Delver, you're taking Thoughtseizes, Daisies, and maybe the Pyroblast.
Xylophone is right. You haven't dredged if you haven't had the experience of milling 40 cards and more on your first turn.
Yeah, I know I haven't dredged, and I don't care. There's some things in life that I don't want to do, and I don't need to do, and I'm not going to do, and one of them is play Dredge.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that just end up in a fun situation where Cabal Therapy turn 1 with an LED on the board, name yourself, Golgari Grave Troll, get as many as you can to the grave, and then Faithless Looting yourself.
Yep. I mean, I will play graveyard decks, I just won't play Dredge.
So you'll play like Grixis Delver with Arcanist, or?
Well, I don't really call that a graveyard deck, but no, one of my favourite decks is a deck that I sometimes call Satyr Wayfinder Control, but is really typically known as Zombie Bombardment.
I really want to see that deck played. I want to see how it plays out.
I keep thinking I'm going to put it together, so maybe this week it will get put together, but I've got my mono white soldier stompy deck here that also needs to have an outing in the mod challenge.
Mod challenge is of course every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time or 11 p.m. UTC, depending on what time zone you're at. Catch it here, of course, on every Thursday. Usually the mods kind of rotate through it. Hopefully we'll get Beyond Sadistic to play the Witch House. I want to see it played.
I want to see that too.
Seems like such a fun deck.
Yeah, that's another deck that I want to build, but gonna let him play it first.
And the mods have been known to play a bunch of random decks. I myself have played Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in a Saturday challenge, Saturday weekly. I think Chainster's played a bunch of different decks. I think we've had an Enchantress deck at some point, as well as some other stuff.
Yeah, well, Enchantress is another deck that I sometimes drag out in Legacy, but I haven't played it for a while. It's a deck that it needs quite a bit of skill that I don't really feel I have with it.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard deck to pilot, and I haven't seen it piloted in a long time, at least in my scene. Although I really would love to see someone hardcast the Humiliate at some point. Usually the sideboard staple of Rip Helm, since that deck is no longer prevalent.
I definitely play the version which has Helm of Obedience Rest in Peace available to me.
Very fair Magic card. Seems like all of us are down to at least one mulligan. I think Changster went down one, and we're still seeing Solace take.
Yeah.
That's me.
Looks like
6-5.
Solace down 2. At least I presume that's why they're waving dice at us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go Shiny Fetch.
Shiny Skeleton Tarn. Who knows how much that is anymore?
I'm not sure I want to know.
Did I ever tell you about my friend who has a $1,000 popper deck because it's all foiled?
Yeah. What is it? Foil Japanese Delver or something?
Yeah, blue red Delver and popper, $1,000.
Yeah.
Most of that price is held up by the Japanese preordains because they've only ever been printed once.
Is Japanese preordain the thing that's expensive?
Well, preordain in general in foil is expensive because it's only been printed once.
It's
been printed M11 foil.
Right. Yeah, I have some Japanese ponders, but they're not foil.
Yeah, Japanese ponder pretty nice. So I'm not. What are you a fan of? What ponder art do you like? Do you like the fish ponder? Do you like the 3 orbs? Or are you a fan of the bald man?
This is this is kind of controversial. I adore Lorwyn ponders.
Really?
They are. I mean, they probably just are my favorite, one of my absolute favorite Magic arts ever. I had this funny story. I was at a GP once, and somebody asked me what's your favorite Magic art, and I said, "Oh, Lorwyn Ponder. I just love it." I was stood next to Mark Poole, and I didn't know.
Whoops. And it seems like we have a good start from Changster this time around. We're going to see a Wasteland plus a Volk to cast our Dreadhorde Arcanist, and we already have a turn 2 Delver. We're looking at Putrid Imp here. I believe we are dredging a Golgari Grave Troll, which I saw earlier. And an Archimeva a hit, finally. I think we see a Faithless Looting, a Cabal Therapy, Icarid, and a Sinkweed. All very solid.
Very standard. Ideal start.
Ideal start. We're going to see a Cample Study, throwing away our Golgari Grave Troll again. I am assuming they drew 1 card.
Yeah. Yeah, Dredge replaced one of them by dredging the Grave Troll.
Yeah, but I don't think it was in his yard at that. I do not believe that Grave Troll was in the yard.
No.
Yeah, it is a draw 2 and then discard. Yeah, you could discard off Putrid Imp. Yep. Yeah. That's how he did it.
I do get very confused by this deck. I mean, if I'm sat playing opposite a Dredger, I have to pay a lot of attention to work out what's going on.
The Dredge is one of those decks that if you don't pay attention at all, you just watch the graveyard fill up and like, oh, I didn't notice all those bridge triggers go off. Whoops.
Yeah, you don't want to miss bridge triggers. So we've got a better start here from Changster with a flipped Delver. That's definitely more hopeful. And obviously the Arcanist, if he actually ever gets anything in his sideboard, in his graveyard rather, keep getting the wrong name there.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see some cards coming soon. We do see a Ponder here.
Yeah. That was a shuffling and draw off a Ponder.
Yep.
Which is not really what you want to do. But it's not always a bad thing. He's got 3 mana. He wants something rather than, well, I guess rather than any of the things that he saw. I don't think it actually matters that much. It's just card advantage.
I think Gangster is going to try and think about keeping the Wasteland here. There's only 1 mana on the Dredge side, but that's something you really want to be doing.
They so often don't even use that mana. I wouldn't waste it.
You do end up in a situation where you start thinking the best way to get as fast as possible. I don't think we've seen any bridges yet. We have seen 2 Faithless Suitings, and now we see the first bridge.
Yep, there we go. 1 bridge.
1 bridge. We're probably going to block here, I assume. Make a 2/2.
My favourite place to see Narcomoeba is not in Dredge, but in Oops All Spells.
Oops All Spells is such a funny deck. It's been a long time since I've actually piloted, though.
I think the last time I've seen it piloted was by my daughter about, was it? Yeah, 2.5 years ago, I think. She was 8 at the time. It was very, very cute.
Are you trying to teach her like how to cast spells and do math and some other stuff? Like,
we wanted to go to a legacy tournament and she needed something to do, so we taught her how to play Oops All Spells.
here, dear, here's Oops All Spells. Here's how you play the deck by yourself. Doesn't matter what the opponent's doing. You don't care. Here's how the deck works. It's just a puzzle piece. That's all it is. Have fun. Yeah. If an opponent wants to play, you tell them you don't care about what they're doing. It reminds me of that one tournament where someone put an F5 in front of them.
We have a spell bomb.
Oh, we've seen the Nihil NAC casting it for black.
We have a spell bomb go off, and
yeah, he paid the black to draw the card off Nihil, and then we're gonna wasteland.
It always feels bad if you have to blow up a spell bomb without paying to draw the card.
You do want your max value.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good timing to use the Wasteland here, I think.
Yeah, completely and utterly destroy said person. Off all their mana base. Make sure that they can't do anything.
So we've got a Putrid Imp and a Zombie.
I think we'll see a Fatal Push here.
Putrid Imp is sat there being a 1/1 for the moment. We're not even going to risk
we're not.
It's just going.
We're going to get the Putrid, get rid of the ability to discard. Probably just swing in with the 3/2 flyer. Yeah. Just wait. Imagine you'll probably save the Fatal Push. Probably swing here with a Dreadhorde to get another Ponder trigger off.
Yeah, I mean, swinging a 1/3 into a 2/2, I mean, it's tapped at the moment, but it's okay to swing into that 2/2 zombie. I'm not particularly worried about that 2/2 zombie at the moment. It can sit there. It can do stuff.
Yeah, it ends up into a situation where you don't really care too much about it too. It's on the ground.
Not anymore.
He did choose to Fatal Push it.
I guess he knows what's in his hand. We'll trust him.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a Dredge here. Think that was a Golgari Thug that got Dredge? Found a Narcomoeba?
I believe so.
I think we've been told actually it was a Golgari Grave Troll.
Yeah, Golgari Grave Troll.
I thought I saw 5 being landed, not 6.
Ooh, we're gonna see the young Pizzy.
Pyromancer out, yep, so Yeah, what's the tech? I'm not sure there is any tech in Dredge against young Pyromancer.
The tech is crack as many bridges as you can, and hopefully you can block.
Well, yeah, because 2/2s beat 1/1s, but they don't have anything like Dread Return. Well, that's only white creatures. They don't have the things that do -1/-1 to stuff.
No, they do not. It is a situation where you end up in a nightmare scenario.
More on the battlefield than I expected, considering that we had that big exile moments ago.
Yeah, definitely it was not a Gogor Grave Troll. It was probably a Thug. Which we see the Thug on the battlefield now. Can't actually see what they have.
Yeah, what's under the Thug?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Top of the Narcomoeba.
Not sure.
Is it an Icarud?
It does not look like Icarud's art. The board, it doesn't look right.
Not an imp.
And I think it's GG here. We're gonna bolt.
That is.
And I assume we're gonna bolt, swing, bolt.
Tokens we're building.
Yeah. Definitely a GG. We saw the surgical come out, and he could definitely just surgical again.
Yep.
Unfortunate. There's the shenanigans next card.
Yep, so you were right that's what he was bringing in.
Oh, he brought in the Lotus Petal. I guess he needed the mana to Dread Return if possible.
Potentially, as they've made very clear, I'm a bit clueless about this deck, so the pilot is the one that should know when you need that extra mana source.
And 2-1 to Roland.
Yep.
We definitely saw a good fight out of our Dredge player on the right. Solus did a great job, but our mod, our fellow mod, Roland, or Changster as anyone knows, won today. 4-0.
Yep, and Nihil Spellbomb was kind of the star there, or maybe it was Delver of Secrets, depending on which way you look at it.
Definitely the clutch Nihil Spellbomb to get rid of everything, and then holding on the Wasteland, which is very massive to go for the full-out blowout.
Yeah.
Big play.
That was nice timing there.